That's what I'm really excited for, because I want to see the evolution, man. I want to see people, see this is the bar right now, and I want to see them take it to the next step. So I want to see that, and I think it starts here in this winners finals.
Literally, it does, man. You got Mirrorman coming up with RoseJ. These were the favorites to win the entire tournament. There'd be no stranger if they ended up taking the set too. But, like I said, we got Leviathan out here, who is the combo king, with literally can play any character under the sun. Playing off with the teammate of Synume with the Batman yet again, one of Ajax's favorites.
Exactly. I mean, also, technically, you should be a little bit of a fan to Synume too, because there's a Wonder Woman deep in there somewhere, just not currently there right now. But something that Leviathan has been able to do very well is showcase why Rain Dog should not be slept on. This character is still very good. The movement of this character is still very solid. And because of the zoning tools that Rain Dog has, it allows Batman to essentially zone break for free.
Yes, absolutely, man. You can see that duff there. All right, fireballs are going to be out. That's one. That's two. Wow, and barely makes it back. No, psych! You're going to hit that tail whip, and your life is gone.
Illusion of choice. Once again, forcing all of the defensive resources there, Osti. There's almost nothing you could do except hope your partner gets there fast enough to stop him.
Yeah, just pray for a miracle your teammate can come in and help you out. Another spike coming out from Synume, catching RoseJ off stage. Very good stuff for them. Going to use that tether to bring them back in. And Synume and Leviathan are putting up quite a fight against Mirrorman and Rose here, trying to get a big combo on him. Synume be able to escape, hitting at 112 damage. They're back off stage. Does the stab again, gets caught by Mirrorman. Meanwhile, RoseJ trying to get this finisher on Leviathan. Can't live the dream, trying to figure it out. But Synume jumping in to save him, and we're going to see Leviathan live to fight another day.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a stellar play. Really, really stellar play. I mean, I love the thing that you saw the smoke grenade be popped down, and then, of course, Leviathan's just going to jump into it because he knows that's safety. That is sanctuary, and that's going to be a really big thing when they need to find situations where you need to sit back and recoup. Where's the smoke bomb, and how can I get there, and I can tether you right back. So I really love how Leviathan and Synume have been really bringing out a quality defensive play in tandem with their offensive capabilities.
Most of the time, whenever they go forward, it's usually based off of which one of the projectiles goes first, whether it be Leviathans or the Batarang. But something that both RoseJ and Mirrorman have done, have been reading where those projectiles are going and reacting accordingly afterwards. It's like, oh, there it is. Cool. Now I will go ahead and read your jump and take you out. That could have been leading to a really bad position right there. That might be it too. You got to use the Batarang to get back down, and he's going to be able to get out of there. And Leviathan's not able to finish it out either. But that dare is going to take out one, could take out two. If you get him on the up B, it's not going to happen.
Saw the retaliation coming out from RoseJ, trying to reverse the combo against their opponents, trying to get hang in there. 3 points on both screens. We got a scramble going on. Manages to get the uppercut. Synume coming in. Had the tether on him too from Leviathan, just in case there was going to be a little threat of a reversal. Let's watch that again here in slow-mo. We see it again. Running up there, gets the uppercut, but got caught by Mirrorman in the middle of his. That's why you don't actually see the animation coming out from him. He just mashes it out right there on the ground because he sees that he can catch the pick. Catches RoseJ right here. And at the same time, if Mirrorman's up air was like a couple frames earlier, that would have interrupted Synume.
No, absolutely. And I mean, one of the big things that I've seen from these guys time and time again, right? You see that tail whip coming in there. I talked about it. It's making sure that you have a particular defensive position you can go to, preemptively, right? We talked about the prep time, we joke about it, but really, that is a big thing in this game. When I use all my offense, right? When I use my resources, do I have a place to come back to? Do I have a certain stage, space that I've carved out for myself and my teammate that I can call home? Because if I can't return there and I'm out and about, trust me, you're going to get spiked, man. You're going to find yourself in the alleyway, and they will rob you at early percents. And every single time Leviathan and Synume have been able to find that kind of space. And that's something that a lot of times most people cannot do when they're up against Mirrorman and Rose. And I think that's how they were able to get that dub there, because they've made sure. You see the smoke grenade there. You see the tether. These guys are always there to make sure they can cover each other when necessary.
Exactly. And the biggest thing we've talked about, as pretty much the main thing we've always gone back to throughout the day, is stage control. Stage control in twos matters so much, whether it sets you up for free edge guards or whether it sets you up for free scramble wins off of people trying to land. Remember, it's very easy to bait out dodges, especially panic dodges from people, and that's why we see a lot of early knockouts come out from the Arya. That's we have a lot of early knockouts coming from the Bugs. But we also see plenty of those coming from Batman. That's pretty much been his bread and butter, and that's why both Zoo and Synume have been able to find success in that regard. Differently on their both in the way they both approach it, but it's still been so consistent. And then even beyond all that, Leviathan is bursting in with the Rain Dog too. This character has some surprising speed that could get up there and help double up for whatever side noob needs it. And that's a big part of why they were able to get a lot of damage like we saw in the replays. And at the end, it just kind of went down to who got the hit first, and they were able to pull it out. But that's how close these two teams are on skill, Austin.
Yeah, Leviathan literally just getting in there, doing tons of damage to the opponents to play up a little bit of support as well. On top of that, just being able to tether the teammates, bring in Synume whenever he feels like they're in danger, always knowing the correct time to do it, by the way, because if you do it too early, you're going to get like no damage off of that little tether, because that's literally free damage against your opponents while they're like stuck in the middle of that. But on top of that, he's living the dream. Rain Dog's a pretty hefty character. Not as heavy as like a tank, but like he can live for quite a while. And on top of that, has the kill potential. I don't know how many times we saw Leviathan get a kill with a down air bouncing off the bottom of the stage to the top of the blast zone, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I know you're talking about that down air, but let's talk about these fireballs, right? That put them in their appropriate position too. If you don't get by these fireballs first, then we don't even talk about that tail whip. I'm sitting there wagging my tail because you're already dead. But I mean, that's the big thing about it, right? Leviathan is always setting up these mazes. If you go low, dude, you might as well be cooked, right? You just gotta pray that your teammate recognizes the situation and comes over in time. But Leviathan's been really good at that. Synume has been really, really good at recognizing those situations too and keeping someone locked down. And man, just what a stellar team showcase we've seen thus far. And I mean, we're talking about setting up the rockets, you know? How often were rockets a factor? Didn't see it all too much, right? How often was it the bank, right?
Literally.
And it's like usually those things are everywhere and they cover all this stuff, but these guys were maneuvering around these things so well that they weren't dictating so much of their movement as they usually do. For the majority of the times we've seen Rose and we've seen Mirrorman go, of course, these games. But anyways, we're gonna go into a game 2 here, going back onto, of course, Trophy's Edge. Let's see if they can make something happen this time around.
I think Trophy's Edge is going to be the primary spot we stay with these two in particular, because this is where a lot of counterpicks tend to lead towards. And, well, you're going to go ahead and have to counterpick that decision and hope that you went outside instead. The down air coverage already from Synume. He has so many knockouts from lower. That's a big difference between Zoo and him. Zoo gets all of his knockouts off the top. Synume gets 10,000 of them at the bottom of the stage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but now we see him coming in with the combo damage, putting out the fireballs. Literally having that one extra point on the board for red team is so good for them. The potential for a spike. Mirrorman coming in to get the assist as well, but still gonna take a lot of damage in the process. Even if they don't find their mark with that stock, that's still 89 damage on RoseJ again, and that's her second life.
Oh man, and that was a good amount of damage to Leviathan. Leviathan's gonna get away, but not gonna get away. Just True simply gets hit by 106, but now doing a chase of his own regard. Let's see if we can have an opportunity here. They're both squaring out. Looks like it's gonna be an ISO situation. Batter up. Great KBI there. Again, opportunity, and that's gonna be one. And wow, Leviathan and Synume are moving right now.
That worked out so well for them because Rose tried to go in and help out and try and get the coverage off of an up air after Bugs kept missing with his own, and that down special, the dive kick, ended up changing that up. That worked out amazingly, but because of the slow on the pie, that was smart by Leviathan. As soon as he saw the debuff to pull him back in, didn't matter though, it was with borrow time. Eventually, they were going to be able to find that stock on Synume.
You're seeing Mirrorman start to take on that role of tank here, has yet to lose a single stock here. As I say that, Commentator's Curse coming in with that uppercut, ending it completely 3 points to 2. Red team with a very big lead here, right? You see RoseJ not only needs one more point, that was a really scary moment there, but also RoseJ at 70 damage, falls to his death, was out of resources. Unfortunate, that's 3 deaths from RoseJ.
Let's take a close look at how scary this was here too. That would have killed. That right there would have been done, because that a rocket into the bat would have given them a free stock. But because of the fact that Arya got hit off of that dive side special from Rain Dog, was forced away. And I'm trying to see where the jump got lost in the midst of this. There's one jump, dodge down, teleported in. I don't think that she ever touched the ground when she dove back in. So there was never a jump still to be had. Oh, dash cancel jump right there. And then you got hit out, and that's it. That's all you can do is just take that hit and hope and pray that you have enough distance to cover to climb back, or that your teammate was stuck with the knife. But not reacting quick enough with that knife toss to maybe try to get back on and just free falling, hoping to touch the wall and could not get close enough.
You know, we were talking about dash jumps in the previous set, how imperative they are to someone's gameplay to be able to move around, whether it's on the ground or in the air. But one of the downsides of it is it expends 2 of your 6 resources. So that's like a 30 resources gone when you go for that. So like you're taking a cost whenever you try to go for that extra movement speed, as well as like a little bit of the invulnerability window from the stamina bar.
No, true that, right? Like you are definitely cashing out on that. Like you said, you lose your invulnerability and you're using those 2 resources overall. And it's going to be a good thing when you want to instantly get back into the fray. But of course, if they are scouting out that situation, then you're going to be in danger. I love that. The greatest thing about that is Leviathan was in a place, again, the illusion of choice. Right, and he's making
now I know
it
it's
happen.
definitely you.
Now you know it's me.
Now it's
Now
definitely
you got to see the Doomin, right? But dude, it is incredible the fact that he was high. The moment he sees him go for a jump, he pushes that fast fall, right? And fast falling too is truly an art in this game because you can control your fast fall, right? You know, that's something that some of these like newer platform fighters have been drifting with, and it's so effective and it allows for circumstances like that to occur. Really phenomenal stuff. But hey, we talked about Mirrorman and Rose going to take this potentially and also evil, but right now they're sitting at a deficit. They're 0-2 versus Leviathan and Synume. Could they find an answer? I need to see it now.
I mean, the original team, Okay, so just confirmation from production. In pools, Leviathan and Synume couldn't get a single set. They have not dropped a singular game leading up to this point. And preemptively, before this close out of this early access beta came out, one of the teams that we all expected to pretty much dominate was Leviathan Synume, but they weren't dominating the way we expected. They have come back to form.
Yeah, it's actually really incredible to see them sitting here at a 2-0 lead in Winners Finals after such a poor performance yesterday in the pools. Remember, I was watching that with Bam, and we're just kind of like, what's going on here? Leviathan and Synume are just kind of not putting in work, but it turns out they were just trying to like save their actual power for today when the brackets matter. I mean, maybe you just got some extra sleep. Another day is a different... Every day is different, right? You're going to be playing differently based on Saturday, based on Sunday. And right now, they're playing on a Super Sunday moment right now. 2-0 lead, has a 1-point tie here in the middle of the game. This is a very close game so far.
I guarantee that they did that for the story so they can find sponsors. It's like, hey, did you see when we didn't get a single game and then we won the whole thing? It's crazy. But you got to still get through Mirrorman and Rose, of course, Bam, because even with them being up 2 games, they have made quite a few comebacks. Being down on the last stock, now they're in a position where they have to run it all the way back.
Oh, true. What a reversal, though, there for Synume. He's going to go ahead and close that one out on Mirrorman. That's going to be a big deal. Man, I'm seeing this rabbit hole, and it's crazy because a lot of times Mirrorman has to deal with that pressure. We have not really seen him set up a rabbit hole, which we're really accustomed to from him time and time again, for him to really be able to designate some pressure on both sides of the stage. These are the kind of things that I love. You're seeing pressure on Mirrorman that you have not seen before, and that is huge.
Yeah, just keeping it going right now. Just the fact that, like you said, invalidating Mirrorman's defense is an enormous win because nobody, not a single person up to this point has been able to really do that yet. And that is amazing considering that you have the big hitbox staring at you over on the side of Rain Dog that you can combo kind of easy, and even though he bursts in well, it's pretty easy to stop. But Batman, on the other hand, has been able to zone break almost for free in front of the 2 of them as we see a downer come in, but that ends up being the stock loss on the other side. This is a lot of damage on the side of Batman, and the safe is going to be the one that gets it done, and we get another game here in Winners Finals. It's not done yet.
Man, Leviathan had that tether too, but I guess he just didn't pull the trigger on it. Maybe he thought he was going to survive. You saw the tether there. He actually pulled a little bit too late. Like the pull animation took place, but Synume was already in the blast zone. Super unfortunate timing for Leviathan because you know he probably hesitated on going for that, right? Because Leviathan's always about maximizing his damage, but also he just linked it right there. So honestly, he was probably mashing that out, trying to get the tether pull right immediately afterwards, and it's just a little bit too late.
Yeah, I think it just wasn't in time, man. And like, yeah, so that is officially their first game loss of the day. That is pretty insane stuff, dude. Yeah, commentator's curse for real. But I mean, these guys have been playing absolutely stellar. And the crazy thing about that is that was almost a 3-0.
Yeah.
That was almost a 3-0 on the team that was heavily favored to win this. So really kudos for Mirrorman and Rose to be able to pick it back up. But again, that wasn't, we've seen sometimes where they've actually lost a game, but they immediately kind of go back in and they just 4-0, right? Just 4 points easily, just like that. Quick, next game, we're playing now. This time around was really close. They barely edged that one out there. And, you know, we saw a couple of nuances where if things were slightly different, who knows, right? That could have been a clean 3-0.
That right there is the testament of good teams. That's good team communication. That's good competitors who want to win. Not just like letting things happen. It's like, okay, we're down 2-0. We're probably not going to get this W, do too good. No, make the small adaptations. The other games weren't even that far off. Yeah. Like they were close. It was just Synume and Leviathan just had insanely good edge guarding. They just couldn't get around it. And this time around, they were able to knock them out earlier. Got I think they caught Synume early off of a knockout on the side as well, which kind of helped set the tone for things to go forward. And it was literally right as we talked about how Mirrorman's defense was kind of lagging. Rose picked it up. Rose picked it up again, like we saw earlier in one of the winner sets, where it's like, okay, now I'm going to push them down and let Mirrorman play the game again. And that really helped them to get themselves back into that situation to even get the game, to bring this to a game number 4.
It's kind of crazy to just see this comeback start to, taking place, right? Mirrorman and RoseJ coming in clutch, trying to get some action going here. They're at a 2-1 deficit right now. And they're also at a deficit in terms of map counter picks, because all the counter picks are going to be coming from Leviathan and Synume. But here's the thing, right? That's the first game. Could a reverse 3-0 happen? Do you think it's possible, Bam?
You know, I mean, you can't count these guys out, right? They've been playing stellar throughout the course of this day as well, too. So it is possible. I think one of the big things that they need to start looking out for is making sure that they're getting some of their quick time combos, right? What I mean by that, right? Getting these easy jabs and up special air coming from Rose, and then immediately going into uppercut, right, with that bat. We have not seen those yet, and that's really been a big proponent on how they've been successful. They need to find a way to start getting that team synergy back. If they're doing these ISO situations, I mean, this is where Leviathan and Synume shine. And the thing is, they are moving a lot better, and so they've been able to occupy more space unless these guys have the rabbit hole down. So they need to be cognizant of that. They need to be able to set up shop and really dictate the stage control, because it's not happening right now.
They're gonna need to figure out how to solve Synume. He had not one, not two, but 3 different times where he comboed both of them at the same time. He only took 40% in the middle of all that. Usually it's pretty easy for Batman to get caught up in the midst of a scramble and take a lot of damage for trying to extend, but he is just closing out everything. They're trying to focus so heavily on Leviathan. It's like, you're not looking at the big picture here.
Literally, the big picture right now is just seeing them be able to get these kill combos and the survivability. Speaking of, Leviathan's going to fall off to the side of the stage. Here comes the combos right now against Synume. It's happening. There's the up air. There's a side air. Good retaliation from Synume in the disadvantage state to be able to get back onto the stage, retaliating against Mirrorman to find his way back.
Oh my God.
Rosie doing a reversal against him. Gets an uppercut 1 point away from securing themselves a spot in grand finals. Synume and Leviathan just need one more kill from Red Team.
It's just going insane right now, man. The pullback from Leviathan trying to get them out of losing that stock, but the 96 on the side of Arya, still potential for them to get back in the game, but they got to be very careful how they approach. That dare sending them back down to Rose, but because Leviathan was there, they couldn't afford to go any further with the combo.
Yeah, man, that combo could have been the thing they needed, man, but great interruption there by Leviathan. And dude, one of the things right now, we talked about Leviathan with the coverage, but the main thing, Synume has been moving forward and getting a lot of these early kills. Man, I'm talking about Dark Knight, man. One of the biggest things, dude, my man is looking like he's too big. He's reading the moment, and they are not able to stop him right now, but this is tied a piece. Can they make this in a game 5? Oh, it's not going to happen, and just like that, we see it. Leviathan, Synume had punched their ticket into grand finals, man. You can't stop the Dark Knight. He's too big.
He was the problem. He was the problem the whole time, Austin. From the very beginning of the double up combos that were happening against them, and then after that, I think all 4 knockouts, all 4 knockouts went in favor to Synume. He picked it up. And that is the Synume we used to see. That's the Synume that got Batman nerfed from playtest 2. That's the one that he has now returned back to form. I think the Wonder Woman might be gone. The Batman is here to stay as they get that comfortable spot in grand finals.
Bro, normally I'd be sad if you said something like that, saying like the Wonder Woman's gone, but dude, this Batman is looking crisp, man. You see these air dashes into the uppercuts constantly. Synume just finding his mark, he getting these kills. Meanwhile, Leviathan just playing such a great support role and doing a good job of practically playing the tank in that job. If you notice, there were so many times where Leviathan was off stage and he had to get back on, right? What does he do? He turns into a ball and he gets additional airspeed because he does that, goes flying above there, it just completely ignores whatever pressure Mirrorman was applying to him and just gets back onto the stage. He did that so many times, and I love seeing how much air mobility he gets out of that and just trying to survive, put the tether on Synume so Synume can play the game that he wants to, because if Synume was a little bit too hard, hey, get back over here, man. You gotta calm down. He has that ability to do so.
Yeah, and he always put himself in the position to where he could do so, right? Like you talked about, Austin. And I think that's one of the really big